Sheriff Joe Lombardo is here from Metro Police for our Morning Cup of Joe segment. Thanks for coming in once again.
It's getting close to Christmas.
It is, and we don't have a show on Christmas Day or New Year's Day for that matter. So let's talk about New Year's Eve preps. There is something of a big party on the Strip for New Year's traditionally, and on Fremont, of course. It's a big event for Metro Police as well. What are some of the biggest problems that officers face on New Year's Eve here in Las Vegas?
It's not as bad as you would think because of the mass of people associated with it. You know, 300,000 plus usually come every year. I think it's public disorder and disorder associated with alcohol intoxication. That type of event, and then obviously in today's world and today's environment, we think about larger threats, threats associated with terrorism or active shooters, those kind of things. So that's a new concern. It's not a new concern, but it rises to a much higher level than it has in years past. So we make adjustments in deploying personnel in different tactics we use to address those kind of issues.
Now, I imagine you can't get into too many specifics, but what can you tell us about some of the preparations from Metro standpoint for New Year's, manpower-wise, logistics-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this doesn't happen overnight. And granted, we've done it year over year for years, as long as I've been here associated with the police department. But it takes a massive amount of manpower to address an event of that magnitude. So we deploy well over 1,200 officers. Now, people are saying, well, you have 1,200 officers available to deploy to a certain event? No, because we have other neighborhoods we have to take care of, you know, as part of law enforcement's mission. So we call in the alphabet agencies, I call them, you know, the FBI, the ATF, and DEA. They help support it. And then we also call in the local law enforcement agencies such as North Las Vegas and Henderson to supplement our manpower.
Team effort.
Team effort.
So after New Year's Eve, we have the year 2020. That's often a time for new laws to take effect. So what are we going to see around Las Vegas that's new in the new year?
Yeah, so the legislature met earlier in the year. So a lot of the laws that they developed, there was 300 plus laws I believe they passed. Not all of them are directly related to actual law enforcement, enforcement or violations, criminal violations. But in January, one of the particular ones of importance is the red flag law. Those are people of concern for both law enforcement and family members that you can petition the court to restrict their use of firearms or recover their firearms until their case can be adjudicated or determined to be of sound mind. So that's one of the big ones, and then you have some wraparound services for juveniles in the school district if they've been victimized for trauma or some violent event. It's mandatory that we provide them some wraparound services so they have success in the future.
All right. So Sheriff Lombardo, thank you for coming in and detailing some of those coming in 2020. If you have a question for Sheriff Lombardo, you can go to 8newsnow.com and submit it there and find out if it's answered every week.